I'm Chef AJ, and today is my 60th birthday. So why am I wearing such a ridiculous outfit? Allow me to explain. 6 years ago, I did a video called Easy Meals to Make You Thin on my 54th birthday. As a matter of fact, it got more views than any other video I've ever done, and I will link to it in the show notes. If you aren't familiar with me, I first became fat at the age of 5. By the age of 11, I was obese. I was 160 pounds when I was not even 5 feet tall. And in my 20s, I got up to almost 200 pounds. Now, I can't really prove it because I don't have any photos. I lived through the big earthquake of '94. My building was red tagged, the water pipe broke, and all my photos were destroyed. But if you check on this YouTube page, Chef AJ on Johnny Carson, you can see that I'm telling the truth, because on that video, I weighed about 180 pounds, more than 60 pounds than I do now. I was really excited to do that video 6 years ago because I had lost 50 pounds, and I explained in that video how I did it. But I'm even more excited and proud now that 6 years later, I have maintained a 50-pound weight loss easily, effortlessly, and deliciously using the principles I outline in my book, The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss. You know, over 98% of people that lose weight through a great deal of suffering and hardship gain it all back within 2 years. Now, I don't have photos to show you how heavy I was, but recently I was cleaning out a closet and I found some clothes. As I lost weight, these 50 pounds that I've now kept off, every time I went down a size, I gave my fat clothes away because I don't think it's a good idea to keep them. I started at a size 16 and I ended up a size 2. So in XL sizes, I was an extra large, and then I ended up an extra small. But I found a few pieces of clothing that I've kept for sentimental value. For example, this is my original chef coat when I was the executive pastry chef at Sante Restaurant in Los Angeles. It's very dirty, you can see, but believe it or not, and I think I have some video somewhere in it, I used to fill this out completely, and I'm wearing it now over several layers of clothing. When I looked inside, I was shocked to see that this is actually a men's 42, and this used to be my chef coat. Now, these crazy clothes, this is from the show Hee Haw. Believe it or not, I was trying to be a country music songwriter in my 20s, and I spent some time at Nashville, and when I saw the show Hee Haw, I had to buy these. These used to be tight on me. As a matter of fact, at one point in my 20s, I couldn't even fit into them. And now I could probably get a second person in them. They're pretty cute, aren't they? Maybe they'll be a collector's item one day. And I cannot believe that this was actually a t-shirt I used to wear. I keep it because I love Willie Nelson, and it was actually signed by him even though it was faded. This was a men's extra large. And I actually have a photo of me somewhere in one of the country music magazines where I'm filling it out completely. So these are my real clothes. And now I can wear more stylish, more fitted clothes that I never could before. So, what am I going to do for my 60th birthday? Well, unfortunately, we're on lockdown, so I'm going to make ice cream. And I'm going to make a new flavor that I've never made before, but it was my favorite flavor growing up, and that's mint chocolate chip ice cream. I'm actually going to do it without the chocolate chips because chocolate gives me migraines, but I'm going to show you how to do it. So I'm going to make mint ice cream for myself, but first I have to make the ice cream base, and to do that, first I have to make the milk. I'm using a recipe from my first book, Unprocessed, to make pistachio milk. Now, you can buy pistachio milk already made in the stores. This is a wonderful organic brand called 3 Trees. It does have a little bit of salt, so if you're avoiding salt, you can easily make it yourself. I start with a cup of pistachios that I soaked. I kept changing the water because that water is just, you don't want that. And then once the water got clear, then I just drained it, and now I'm going to put in 1 cup of pistachios to 1 cup of filtered water. Very important to always use the top of a blender when you blend. I once did not, and boy, let me tell you, that was a mess. So now I'm just going to blend it. Because I'm doing this as an ice cream, I want it a little bit thicker. But if you were doing it just to drink, you could certainly add more water. Now I'm going to pour it into a bowl that's covered with this bag. This is actually a paint straining bag that you can get for about 99 cents at the hardware store. You don't want to use one that has been used for paint. I'm just going to pour it in. And if there's a little bit left, I might just add a little bit of water to get it all to come out a little bit easier. There we go. And I'm going to use food service gloves just because I don't want to make a mess. And again, you don't have to go to the trouble of making homemade pistachio milk. You know, with this time that we have with stores having shortages, many of the stores were out of the boxed milk. So it's a really good idea to always have some nuts or seeds on hand, or oats or rice, because you can easily make plant milk just from oats and water, rice and water, nuts and water, seeds and water. So what I'm going to do is, using this bag, just like I'm milking a cow, even though I've never actually milked a cow, I am going to separate the liquid from the pulp. And what can you do with the pulp? Well, believe it or not, if you Google it, you'll find lots and lots of recipes of things you can do with pulp left over from making milk. You can make crackers, especially if you have a dehydrator. It's very easy. A lot of times people, believe it or not, give it to their pets. They seem to love it, at least dogs. Never given it to a cat before. You can make cookies with it. So there's lots of things you can do with the pulp. There you go. If you have kids, get them involved. These paint straining bags are also great. For example, if you ever made a lasagna, I have a great recipe on page 100 of my book, Unprocessed. And when you have a bag of frozen spinach or kale, this is a really easy way to squeeze out the extra water. It's just, I think it works a lot better than cheesecloth, and it's a lot less expensive than buying those designated nut milk bags at the store that are usually $7 or more. So there we go, and you can do this as dry as you want, getting all the milk separated. A real easy way to make plant milk is to just take the nut butter. You want to get raw and unsalted, 1 to 2 tablespoons to your desired amount of water. And that's one of the easiest ways to make plant milk. Okay, well, I could do this all day, but I think I'm going to stop now. You can see it's still coming. Lots of it coming out, separating it. All right. Okay. So they taught us in our emergency class how to take gloves off, imagining what you do is you pull it like this inside out. That's assuming you had contaminated gloves. And then you take the other glove like this, that's now inside out, and inside out this one. They actually put shaving cream on our gloves, and if we got any shaving cream on our hand, that meant we were infected. Now I'm going to need that blender again to make the base. Let me just rinse it out really quickly. Doesn't have to be perfect because it's the same thing going in. And now I'm going to put the plant milk back into the blender. So now I'm going to add 6 ounces of baby organic spinach. I buy my spinach in large bags and then I just measure it out. The reason I chose 6 ounces is because that's what most bags are if people buy them individually. Sometimes they're 5, so you could use 5 if that's all you could find. But this is what's going to give me lots of added nutrition, as well as this beautiful dark green color without using any food coloring. So I'm going to blend the spinach and the pistachio milk. And now, my sweetener is 3 bananas. Now, this is not going to be sickly sweet like, you know, ice cream that you would find in an ice cream parlor. If this is not sweet enough for you with 3 bananas, then add a few dates. That's what I would say. Maybe take one of the bananas out. So now I'm going to add my fresh organic mint, about a cup or an ounce, depending on how you like to look at it. This has already been washed and measured. I sometimes put a paper towel in just when I store herbs. And just to bump up the minty flavor a little bit, I'm going to add some pure peppermint extract. This is 1/8 of a teaspoon. If you find it's not minty enough for you, you can always do a 1/4 teaspoon. But remember, you can always add, you can't take away. So now I'm going to blend. This can be what I call a 4-leaf clover shake, very similar to a fast food restaurant's Shamrock shake that was popular in the 70s. And this by itself is absolutely delicious. Or you can get one of these ice cube molds and pour it in and then freeze it. And that's how we're going to make our ice cream. I have one that's already frozen. Isn't that beautiful, the color? An offset spatula is perfect for spreading it out into all the cubes. You're going to stick that in the freezer. And when it's frozen, solid, like this, you are going to turn it into ice cream. First, we have to get the cubes out. And this twists very easily. I like the size of this because it fits perfectly in the chute of the Champion. You could just actually put these in a beverage. I bet they'd be really good. If you don't have a Champion juicer, however you make ice cream, whether you use a Yonana's machine or a dessert bullet, a food processor, a blender. When you use a blender, you probably have to add a little bit of liquid to get it to blend. That's what I like about the Champion, is it's made perfect for these kind of treats. So now I've got all my cubes out. And now I'm going to run it through the Champion juicer. Wow, look at that. Well, look at that. So, if you want to make it mint chocolate chip ice cream, all you do is you sprinkle a few cacao nibs on top. So there you have it. 4-leaf clover shake, or mint ice cream, or mint chocolate chip ice cream. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Chef AJ, and I make healthy taste delicious.